So uric acid, kind of serious if you have elevated levels of this stuff, not only related to gout, but several other health conditions as well. And what makes this matter even crazier is that many times you're not even being tested to see if you have elevated levels of uric acid. I checked my own blood test before I recorded this video. I haven't been checked for uric acid since 1997. So if you've been analyzed for your uric acid levels and they're elevated, what are some things you might be able to do naturally that might lower your uric acid levels? Let's take a look at 10 different ways and the research on those ways to give you a better idea what may be right for you. So let's start off with the basics. I'll assume that maybe you have gout, that's why you're analyzed for uric acid. And one of the first things I would say is, I think it's best to change your diet. So you've probably already heard that various foods can raise your uric acid level. These are foods that are often high in compounds called purines, and there's several of these things out there. It's turkey, anchovies, organ meats. So those are foods you want to avoid at all costs to keep your uric acid levels under control. Now, if you were to change your eating habits, a couple of eating patterns that I would suggest you take a look at are the Mediterranean diet and the DASH diet. DASH stands for Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension. It's a eating pattern that's been shown to lower blood pressure in people who have high blood pressure. And this makes sense because both DASH diet and the Mediterranean diet are high in fruits and vegetables, and we tend to see lower uric acid levels in people who eat a more plant-based diet. Now, both of these eating patterns are low in added sugars, which have been shown to raise uric acid, especially high fructose corn syrup, which is found in sugar-sweetened beverages. What's interesting is, here's a paper where they gave people sugar-sweetened beverages with high fructose corn syrup or 100% fruit juice, and only the sugar-sweetened beverages were shown to raise uric acid, not the 100% fruit juice, which contained only fruit juice. Now, fruit juice does contain fructose, but it's interesting that the natural form of the sugar, when it's in the food source, did not raise uric acid. Now, another thing to look at is your hydration level. Are you getting enough fluids in your diet? There is evidence that being dehydrated also raises uric acid concentrations in the blood. We know from people who have undergone bariatric weight loss surgery that losing weight can also lower uric acid levels, and this is true for even those individuals who have gout as well. So besides that foundational stuff, what are some things that you might want to add to your diet that might lower your uric acid level? And first on this list is eat more cherries. So there is evidence to support the use of cherries in lowering the severity of gout and gout flare-ups as well. And this also appears to be true for tart cherry juice, which has gotten a lot of attention over the last several years. In this study, tart cherry juice was shown to reduce uric acid by about 20% after just a few weeks. Next up is lemon juice, which has been shown to lower uric acid levels not only in mice, but in humans as well. And what makes lemon juice interesting is that its uric acid lowering properties appear to not be related to reducing xanthine oxidase. Xanthine oxidase is the enzyme that makes uric acid. So it appears to work through a different mechanism altogether, which is pretty interesting. You've probably heard about vitamin C, which is very popular for lowering uric acid levels, and it seems to work not only by inhibiting uric acid synthesis, but also by speeding up the removal of uric acid from the body as well. There's also evidence to suggest that men who consume more vitamin C tend to have lower risk of getting gout. In this review article you're looking at, vitamin C was shown to reduce uric acid in 8 of 13 different clinical trials analyzed. Overall, vitamin C was shown to reduce uric acid by about 0.3 milligrams per deciliter, which for some people may be enough to move them into the more normal range. But what's interesting here is that 8 of 13 clinical trials is 61% of the trials in this study showed vitamin C had an effect. You would think that given the popularity of vitamin C, that it would have a more dramatic effect in this. And one possibility for this is that in this review, The dosages that were used in the various clinical studies range from as low as 200 milligrams up to as much as 2,000 milligrams, although I would point out that the median dose used, which was right in the middle, was 500 milligrams vitamin C per day. So what I'm saying here is that your results with vitamin C may vary depending on the dosage you're taking, as well as how high your uric acid levels might be. In this study, people consumed yogurt that had specific strains of bacteria that were shown to lower uric acid after just 8 weeks. Preliminary evidence also suggests that probiotics from pickles have also been shown to reduce uric acid levels too. Next up is curcumin, which is one of over 100 different curcuminoids which are found in this spice called turmeric. In this paper, people with fatty liver disease were given curcumin supplements for 8 weeks. Compared to people who took placebos, those taking curcumin supplements had not only lower uric acid levels, but they also saw reductions in total cholesterol, LDL, and triglycerides as well. Now keep in mind that while that's encouraging, there are also researchers out there who are still a little skeptical about whether curcumin supplements lower uric acid levels or not. Next on our list is aged garlic extract, which is, and as the name suggests, an extract of garlic. In this paper, men and women who had high blood pressure who took aged garlic extract supplements for 12 weeks were rewarded not only with modestly lower uric acid levels, but also improvements in total antioxidant capacity and elevations in nitric oxide as well. Polyphenols are a group of plant compounds which are found in many different foods, ranging from fruits and veggies, beans, seeds, even dark chocolate, and they're thought to have a wide range of health effects. In this paper, 62 overweight people who were given polyphenols from apples not only had significantly lower uric acid levels, but the polyphenols from apples also inhibited the enzyme that makes uric acid too. That enzyme is xanthine oxidase. If you like coffee, good news, because there is evidence that coffee can also lower uric acid, such as this review of 9 previous studies revealing that drinking coffee was associated with a reduced risk of gout in both men and women. Oddly, however, there is also this paper which appears to show that, at least in healthy men, decaffeinated coffee might be better at lowering uric acid levels than non-caffeinated coffee. There's also good news for people like me who don't drink coffee. Tea has also been shown to lower uric acid, such as this paper showing black tea to be effective at lowering not only uric acid, but also cellular inflammation as well. Okay, so this video had an awful lot of information, so let me try to give you a head start on this. Here is a table of the different amounts of things that I mentioned in this video to give you some idea of how much of this stuff might be effective at lowering uric acid. Obviously, realize that individual results may vary. I would still put the emphasis on the basic stuff first, like losing weight, eating a better diet. But if you want to try some supplements to add to your diet to lower uric acid, this at least is going to give you a leg up and hopefully save you some time in the health food store when you go looking for this stuff.